Michael Delaney looking swollen that picture, dude. What's going on with that, bro? You been working out?
Always
Oh
working
yeah.
out 5-6 times a week.
That I tell you what, I look up to you, man, because I don't. And like I talked to my wife and like I played football, what have you, basketball in high school. Like I never missed anything. Like that was my life. Oh, what the hell? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I got to switch this back on. But when I was in high school, dude, like that was what I did, and I miss it, and I think I might need to get back to that. So, where did it start for you as far as like lifting? Like, were you in sports as far as high
Uh,
school?
well, I mean, yeah, I played sports in high school, but I didn't really lift after high school until my brother kind of got me back into it, and it really wasn't until a few years ago that I really started getting into the whole like getting big. Like I was always just in there, just kind of lifting and pushing, but never really pushed myself. And then we really just started pushing it, and then COVID hit, and we started doing it at my neighbor's house. And once COVID came, or once we were able to go back to the gym, we just started hitting it harder. And like I just been kind of big since then. I cut a couple of years ago so that I could get back just a little bit smaller because I was getting just a little too big with muscles and weight. So I cut back a little bit, and now I'm sitting at about 200, but
Yeah, I
not
remember
trying to
like
push as much as I did. Because I mean, I'm almost 40 years old, so like I'm getting to the point now where stuff just aches.
yeah, dude. It's isn't it so like unfortunate that everybody that told us shit as a kid like was right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like, damn it, dude, like they were right. And like I have to admit that as an honest man. Like my wife, she's like, dude, I'm like we have 4 kids, I was telling you. And they're young. Like we waited we were a little bit older in life, we had kids. And it hurts. Like it hurts, man. Like you wake up in in the middle of the night, blah blah blah, put the baby in the bed, you're like, "Oh, uh so these people in our lives were warning us and they did, man.
Yeah, luckily, like I don't have kids yet. It's me and my dog right now. So
That's what's up,
like
dude.
I don't have to deal with that part yet. But it eventually, if it comes, it comes. If not, it'll be stepkids, and they'll still be
Yeah.
going through somewhat of the same thing.
Bro,
So
I love that you kind of said that because we all take bro, if I had 500 hours to spend on here and tell my life story, I'd probably do it and everybody wouldn't believe me. But all of us we get those directions and we have no control. Like as soon as we start to take control of what direction we're going in life, I mean, as far as everything, I think there's a bigger plan maybe sometimes, at least for me. Like I wanted to end up here and somehow I'm way over here and I'm still thankful. But things weren't the way I mapped them up in my head.
oh yeah, it's been a for me. It's been quite a ride myself. Like I haven't really gone through a bunch of turmoil in my life, but over the last few years, like there has been some. So to see where I am now from where I was not too long ago, like I feel a lot better
Bro,
about
I'm
that.
proud of you, man, because I know what that means, and I know what that it doesn't necessarily have to be the same story for anybody. If I hear a story where somebody's in the dark for a minute and they come out and there's light, man, honestly, not everybody comes to the light. So, man, welcome. I love that, dude. I love that story. Uh, as far as well, we'll start here. Introduce yourself and what you do and whatever you want to say.
All right. Well, I didn't actually start getting into reading until about 2016. Um, and that was kind of a layover year with Game of Thrones. We were waiting on that final season, the one that doesn't exist to me. We were waiting on that, and it finally kind of hit me where I was like, man, I kind of want to read something like that, but I don't want to read that because I'm watching it. And like I stumbled around for a while trying to figure something out, and finally I landed on Kings of the Wild. And once I read that, I was like, you know what? I kind of like reading now. I didn't realize that I was actually going to enjoy reading because for my entire life, I read like maybe 2 books
Bro.
I didn't have to read because of school. Like, just didn't care for reading. Like, it was a waste of time to me. I had other things that I could be doing. And then finally it hit me where I would sit down and read, and I'm like, man, why did I waste so much time not doing this? This is so much fun. And so like from there, it just kind of grew where I followed Nicholas Eames on Twitter. I kept watching all the stuff that he would repost, other authors, and I was like, so not only is he like a good author, like he's also pushing these other people. Like, I didn't know at the time that was what authors did. It wasn't about them. It's about the community.
Oh,
And so
yes.
I was like, this is kind of cool. And so I started getting more books on my TBR from just what he was putting out, and I was like, okay. And then I didn't even realize I was reading indie books at one point. Like, I just, they were Kindle Unlimited, so I was just like, oh, they're free. Like, I'll read this.
Right.
And then all of a sudden people were saying, oh yeah, you read an indie book. I'm like,
I
it was
did.
great. I don't care. Like, it was a good book. I don't care if it's indie or traditional. It was good.
Ah,
And then from there, man, it just kind of stumbled into a whole lot of other reading, and like just kind of stumbled upon Ryan Cahill, and like that was really where everything kind of took off for me, was just reading his book and then him putting me on the back, and from there it just like I grew exponentially after that, and
bro,
it was
I've
just kind
known
of a random thing.
Wolfmantula's name for a minute. I've known your name. Could not put a face to it, but I knew your name. I was like, man, I have all his. Our stories. Anybody who's like a regular viewer,
Uh
it's like I'm speaking through you, dude. That is like exactly how I got into reading. It did not happen until like 2019. Like, I'm newer, and Ryan being one of the guys that I first read, because what's indie, right? It's like, first you find out what indie is, and then I feel like unfortunately there's that stigma, and I'm just like right in the same spot as you. I've read it, now I know what that is, or maybe I would have had you know a thought of it's not quality, it's not, because they're not published through a big publisher, which would have been absolutely the worst thing as a reader.
oh yeah, yeah,
um but yeah, man, very, very similar. So I love hearing that story because I don't hear it often, brother. Like, I
yeah. It's
usually hear
late
like
bloomer.
tokens.
And see, that was one of them that I read around 2017 or 2018, and it was because everyone just they kept pushing. They were like, "If you read fantasy, how have you not read that yet?" I was like, "Well, I got into it late, so like I didn't grow up reading this,
Right.
So I finally read it, and I know some of the people in here are probably going to say, "What?" Like, I wasn't a huge fan of it. Like, it
Bro, if
was
anybody
good.
says
It was
what to
good.
that, it's subjective, bro.
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying it wasn't bad, I'm not saying it was bad, but it just, like, for me at my age, when I got into it and the type of stories that I like, it was okay. And a lot of people were upset with that. And I was like, I'm not trying to, like, diminish what you like. I'm just saying that at this point in time in my life, I wasn't huge on it.
You know what's unfortunate is seeing, and basically what people projecting or judging based off of like that, like your say so, just because maybe you have a channel or a blog, is somewhere along in that final sheet of reviews, like forever,
Hmm.
and they take it so seriously. And like, my favorite part of reading, and me and my wife are finally getting along, as far as, well, we've gotten along for a while, I guess, obviously, but what I mean is in the reading space where we can talk about it. It's so subjective, man. Like, my favorite books, my wife would throw.
Right. Yeah.
My buddy was like, man, I just read a book so dark that I had to DNF it, man. I feel really bad. I'm like, give me the name of that book so that I can enjoy it. You know what I mean? Those negative reviews, those positive reviews, all of our subjective qualities have a spot in their rightful place, man. Uh,
Yeah. I
so
mean, my brother, I got him into it, and like, we don't exactly have the same type of a flavor when it comes to the books that we read either. Like, we're we're close, but a lot of the stuff I'm like, hey man, you need to read this. Like it was good, and he's like, it was all right. And
You're
then
an
he'll read something
individual.
else that I was like, I kind of liked it. And he goes, man, I love that. It was, we're in that same category, but we are kind of a bit more of just like we're here, but oh, there we go, we're
Yeah,
here,
you
but we're
guys
like
are in the
here.
same highway, but you have your own lanes.
Yeah.
Man, I get it, and I get it. And you were saying your brother. I'm gonna use my wife again. I have her pulled up, Molly McCobb, dude, absolutely wonderful writer. And my wife binged her book, and my wife is very picky when it comes to books. And she talks about Molly's book probably every day, something about it, and that's super cool, man.
Hey,
And
Molly
it
is a
just so
big
happens
Under
that
Oath
I'm
fan
loving
too,
it
and
too. What is it?
Molly is a big Under Oath fan too. So like,
Hell yes, dude. See, I knew this was gonna be good. I have that radar that's just like, hold on, I think we're probably along the same wavelength. So that's
oh
cool,
yeah,
man. Uh,
absolutely.
and so I guess what I'm saying is, in the grand scheme of things, is embrace your opinion, but also embrace other opinions that maybe not the exact same, because you could learn from it. I learned from it. I was gonna humble myself and it's like, hold on, Matt, you're not always right. Of course you're not. That's not really hard for me anymore as a 34-year-old. I forgot how old I was. 34-year-old man. Like, of course, like there's a record of me being wrong a lot. So I could be wrong anytime. But when it comes to subjective stuff, I think that's the funnest part. Like
Oh yeah, absolutely.
anytime somebody disagrees with me, that's sometimes, actually, a lot of the time, more fun than someone agreeing with me.
Yeah. So one of the other things that I do other than read is I'm really big into the NFL draft,
Mm.
and like I do a lot of mock drafts and stuff. And I had a guy the other day actually. He didn't. He said that he had a few issues with the one that I had, my most recent one. And I was like, dude, just tell me. Like, I'm not here to argue with you, but I want to know what you see wrong with it. Maybe your idea of something was different than my idea. Maybe I can learn from what you thought, or maybe I could tell you what I thought, and it would help you out. So, like, I love to learn from people, and especially just getting more knowledge, because without it, man, we're like, I always believe that I'm not always wrong, but I could always be better at something. I could always get better at something. So I may have done something good, but I probably could have done it better.
You know what I hear from that, man, is that part of us as men, I know we have it, and I know women have it as well. I'm not making this like a sexist thing, but I know how I feel as a man, so I'm going to speak from that point of view. You know, you want to do the best, you want to be right, you want to make sure you're making the right decisions. So I think in those moments where we're like, hold on, this is something I could be, it's subjective, I guess is what I'm saying. Those points hit home so much better because whether it's culture or reading preference or music love, like those of you that I'm different from, I can learn a lot more than someone
Yeah.
saying, I like that too. And then that conversation's over. So I love that, man. So it was your kind of just rediscovering or just first discovering your love for literature that kind of plateaued this or kind of ignited this thing for you. And what did you do first? Was it the Booktube page? Was it the blog?
So, um, actually, like, what the only book that I read, I forgot what it was now. Off the top of my head, it was Rocket Boys, the movie Rocket Boys.
Yeah, dude.
It was a book that was based off of it. I forgot what it was called.
October Sky.
October Sky. Yeah.
Good one.
So, um, that was the first one that I ever read, and that kind of got me interested in reading, but I never really followed up on it, and so it just kind of went out from there. And because I was big into just being outside because I lived in the country, just like
Yeah, dude.
going outside doing stuff. I played sports all the time, so those were more important to me at the time.
I get it.
But yeah,
If I would have told my coach during high school at all, like I told my wife, I'd never missed a practice. Like from age of like probably 9 to when I graduated, sports was it. If my
yeah,
coach probably heard of me reading a book, he'd be like, "Hold on, I got this weight for you to lift real quick. And man, it's rough, but it builds character. But now that I'm like,
My teachers would probably be blown away at the fact that I read books and actually blog about them now. Like they would be blown away with like, yeah, you got the personality to be on something like this, but I never would have seen you like reading books every single day, all day long. I'm like,
I never thought of that aspect, dude. Yes, I love that. Mike, like, hold on. Is this the same guy that like flunked my class because he couldn't stop like being funny and all of this? I see. By the way, man, I see our man Jeff in there, dude. Right before you,
it's out of the picture now. There you go.
He had that posted up, man. I was like, my man.
Yeah, I moved the camera back so it took it out of focus, or I moved the camera up.
That's cool though. I absolutely love his writing, and it's so much fun. That like D&D is not something I grew up playing.
Me either.
Yeah, man, I've had to kind of learn about it, and as I read more D&D inspired novels, it's just like all fun. There's different races, there's different consequences for actions, and I love how an author says, you know, I'm going to take that D&D aspect and I'm going to expand upon that, you know, tenfold for a novel. It's 100% inspiring.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And, you know, I do feel bad because I got it as an arc, and I just, because I got it before Christmas, and like I was trying to get it done before it came out, and a lot of stuff was going on, just didn't have a lot of time to read. So, but I mean, I'm about 70% through, so I'm almost there.
We're always going to be harder on ourselves because I feel the exact same way.
Because I like to get in before the deadline, but I wasn't able to this time.
The last person that would be like, hold on, I can't believe you didn't make is the author, bro. Literally. Like they know how this ocean of books, especially as like a reviewer or a blogger, at one point you find out very quickly that you have to start saying no. And that's unfortunate because you don't want to hurt. I don't want to hurt people's feelings. Or say your book's not worthy. There's just only so many hours in a day. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I did or I didn't like to do was to tell people no. So at one point I just put a thing on my page where I couldn't accept anymore because I was full, and I was basically doing I'll take your book when I want to. Like, if I see an art coming up, I'm like, you know what, I like that book. I'll see if I can get an art for that. Like, I hated telling people no, and so it was a lot easier just for them to see that it wasn't available as a choice than for me to actually have to say no to them.
You know what?
And then I opened it up this year.
I hear from that, man, that you don't like to disappoint people. You like to be a positive force in people's life. And I think that is extraordinary. And I feel those of us who feel bad maybe for not, because if I'm being honest, there's probably no arc or book review, physical copy, ebook that I've gotten where I probably finished in the time that I expected I would. Things come up, this and that. And like I said, the last person that I've seen like judgmental on that is the author, and I think we're just really hard on ourselves. I am.
I'm definitely one of those, especially like because when Ryan gave me the last arc, I think he gave us like a month, and I mean, his books are massive, and I was like, oh man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this in a month. Like, this is a big book, and
obviously in a month is intimidating, dude.
Yeah, and obviously he's like, you don't have to do it, but if you want to be mentioned in the book in the back, you have to finish by this date, and then I'm usually on the back, so I also I want to be able to get back on the back again, so I try to make sure that I make that timeline because I want to be back on there.
It is, look, man, it is one of the coolest things ever, bro. I think that is so awesome for you because I know how much I look up to and love his work, and to see myself on the back of the cover, man, that is truly special, bro. I think that's very cool, and that's something I would absolutely.
It's one of the when it first happened, because it was not in my plans at any point. Like, I never thought that it was going to be something that happened.
Mm.
And I just, when he asked me if he could put it on there, I was like, are you serious?
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
and because it was at a point where my blog was just getting started. So I had like maybe 50 followers.
Uh-huh.
So it wasn't like I had like this big following. And I was like, you really want me on the back? And he was
So,
like, absolutely. And I was like, absolutely, yes,
so
put
you
me on
got
the
to
back.
see this like this trend upwards for him. How was that, man? Because I was
Well,
here. It's like I was here when he was big. That's
all right,
it.
so he had already had book one out and the fall, so both of those were already out before I joined in. Um, it was it was David Walters, FanFi Addict,
Mm.
Lord TBR. It was him that put a post out about get Ryan's book. You could get a signed book, and I was like, well, that cover looks pretty cool. Okay, I'll do it. And it's one of the yeah, it's one of the original 50. Like, so
Oh,
yeah, I'm one of the original 50 that got his first book. And yeah, there we go. Yeah, number 40 right there.
super slick too, man.
So I was there, one of the original to get it, and I read it and I was like, dude, I love this. And
Yes.
so I messaged him and I was like, hey, so I found all this stuff in it. Like, there's were you using this Greek mythology and all this? And he goes, yes. And then from that moment, me and him were in the DMs just constantly talking every single day about everything. And I was just like, this is awesome. And then he was like, you want art for book 2? And I was like, yes. And then once I had done my review and he read it and he asked for me to be on the back, I was like, I would love to. So, like, for me, I know that I've helped myself with other things,
Mm.
but it was having my name attached to him, which helped me open up to other areas and get more people involved with me. And so it was really just like I was hanging on his coattails as he was taking this meteoric rise, and I just got to watch as it happened. So it was really cool to see where he was when he first started, basically of just like, being just, I mean, he's still just a regular average person. Like,
Yeah.
he's great. But just seeing where he was at the beginning to now with his sales and everyone wanting to read his books, and then Mike's book reviews getting a hold of it and launching it even more. Like, it was really cool to see the fact that where he was at the beginning and I was there with him, and he kind of took me on a ride with him.
How could he not have you as one of those guys? It's like 100% always. I mean, yeah. So I always think in my head, like, to witness and there's a guy in mind, like when I say this, and there's a lot of books I haven't read, guys. So there's more to come. I'm guaranteeing it because I feel this often, but you read a book and it's a self-published book that may not, have a chance. It's just really the luck of the draw, but it's
Hmm.
incredibly inspiring. And I would have to say Ryan's books, really, especially that first one, just the classic feel, the the action, a little bit, well, a lot of bit of lore that in the relationships that have issues and the relationships that are like up in the dark, like all of that is intriguing to me. So I get it, man. I really do. It's so cool, though.
And another one is, P.L. Stewart right there. And
Yeah,
hey, oh man,
I'm excited, dude. I hit him up. I was like, man, I know this is way too late. Like, I needed to read your work for a while. I had him on the channel, and I still hadn't picked it up yet. And I'm excited.
yeah, hey, it's great. Like, him and Ryan are the two. Like, I mean, when I have an arc ready, like, I make time to make sure I get to it. But I make my yearly TBR around when I know Ryan and PL's arcs are coming, because I'm like, because they're massive, like, and they're detailed. So I know that when I read them, I have to take notes to make sure I'm staying with everything. So like I make sure that nothing is going to interrupt that, or like I know it's going to come out here, so I need to make sure I stop whatever I'm doing around here so that
Respect.
I've got time.
Yeah, respect, man. And absolutely. That's what an author, especially ones that you've kind of grown with and gotten to know, uh, it's a special kind of thing. So I just kind of thought of this. What would you? Is there anything you would compare to PL's books like, or is it purely one of those things you feel he's very authentic in the way he does his prose, or
Well, so when I first started reading it, I was thinking it was more like historical fantasy and very low fantasy.
Mhm.
But as I started reading it, I realized that it was actually like grim dark fantasy, just low fantasy and more of um, it's elemental magic, but it's grounded in like religion.
okay?
So like it's very just like you don't realize it because at first like I literally just in my reviews I was like it's a great historical fiction slash fantasy type of book, and then once I got to like book 3 I was like this is no, this is actually like grimdark. It's a little bit more than just like it's based with like kind of Atlantis, like I mean
Yeah.
you could tell from the first book the picture of it. So it does have like a little bit of that historical element to it, and then he just really is able to use the information, the information that
Dude, it's like straight. You look at that cover and you're like, man, that is a badass cover.
where is it at?
So clean too.
Well, I can't find it. Uh, oh, there it is.
There it is.
There we go. There we go.
Nice, dude. I
It's
love that. You know, my favorite thing about doing live streams is the time that we spend. Like, hold on, I gotta grab something. Hold on, I gotta like that is the best, man. I absolutely love it. Show and tell is the best.
Oh yeah, it's fun. That's
So it, I think the biggest thing that attracted me to his writing, even before like it was the reason I had him on, was like his love for Janie Wirtz. I love Janie Wirtz. Like I haven't read all her books. I've in fact not done even with her first book. Her as a community member is wonderful. And then I got to last month or 2 months. Was it last month? I was doing a buddy read of book 1, which is it's dense, but it's a dense book that I can. I don't know how to explain it. It's a dense book that I can follow because of her storytelling abilities. I couldn't tell you exactly what it is, but
okay.
there's some of those dense books that I'm like, okay, I have to DNF this because I just don't know where we're at, what I'm feeling. With her work, it's totally different. And then to learn that PL Stewart's such a big fan of hers, automatic.
Yeah, I haven't read any of that yet. Uh, I know that it's something that I've got on my TBR, but I haven't actually bought any, at least ebook or audio or physical yet. But it is something that I've had on there, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that he posts a lot of her work. So I'm like, that's something I need
It's
to
his
put on
favorite
here.
author.
Like, yeah. So it's one of those where you have to like, okay, if if
Yeah.
he's saying it, like I need to put this over here and pay attention to it.
And PL is, also I want to say this, PL, man. I respect what you do, man, your career. Uh, and if people know what that is, that's great. If they don't, I'm gonna leave that up to PL to talk about and this and that. But I just respect a lot of what he does, man, how he is. He's a very polite, kind, wonderful human. So
Yeah.
when it comes down to that, it's like purely on a human level, even if I don't necessarily, which is not the case in this with UPL, because I've been interested in your work for a long time. I'll pick up books just because I get to know the author and they're just wonderful people. And yeah, it goes from there. But yeah, I'm very, very excited. Got some stuff planned out. What has been the most fun for you? What's been the most fun since starting this journey with literature that you could say, man, I just absolutely had so much fun with that?
Uh, Honestly, it's probably just the community itself. Um, I didn't realize just like how like good people were. Like I knew people were good, but this community, especially like on Twitter, like or on Blue Sky, wherever you're at, like the community is awesome.
What is it about
And
the
like
reading
I have
community?
made just some extremely good friends to the fact that we're like David Schaefer, he's not really on as much anymore, but he's Book Meanderings.
Hmm.
Like I became really good friends with him, and that was kind of our bond over Ryan Cahill. We kind of got together from that, and then like we just became really good friends. Like when he got married, I sent him like a $70 chef's knife. Like I was like, you got to have a good chef knife now that you're married.
You do.
So I was,
You do.
yeah, the community has been the biggest thing. Getting into like fantasy football with some of the community that I've been in the group with for about 3 or 4 years now. Shad's in it. Um, Being kind of a not part of FanFi Addict, but being kind of like a brother to them.
Yeah.
Like he's like the biggest reason why I have a blog is because of David Walters. Like
Mm.
it was he put out a post about how to make your own website and how to do it for free. Here's the things that I did that I went wrong. This is what I would do now instead. And like I was at the time, I wasn't ready to join someone because
Yeah.
I was still learning how to write reviews
It's too
because like
intimidating.
I didn't grow up, reading or writing this stuff. So like I had to kind of build myself up, and I was like, I kind of want to do it. If I can do it for free, then I'll go ahead and do that. That way I can kind of start putting my reviews out there, and like I can get better at it, and then maybe I'll join one day.
Yeah.
And instead, like I just became really good friends and like close to both to David Walters and David Schaefer, to where I wasn't technically a part of that group, but I was basically pigeoned with them because I did everything with them.
Yeah.
If I posted something, they posted it, retweeted it for me. If they did something, I retweeted it. Like, so I think the community is easily the best thing about what I've experienced so far. And
Man.
they're a bunch of wonderful people, and even the authors that I didn't even mention any authors, but just the authors themselves. Like I think they are probably some of the most kindest people I've ever met. Like the bloggers and everyone else is nice, but the authors are some of the nicest people I've ever met. Just wholeheartedly, just nice people.
What I'll give you my opinion too. What is it that you think makes the community? Because I agree with you, man. Just I never knew that there was such a community that was like, what is the word? Continuously proving me wrong about
Mhm.
people. And it was whether it was X, because I'm on X. I really like X.
Yeah.
Got a great community there. I just joined Blue Sky for anybody that's on Blue Sky, and honestly, kind of taken off on Blue Sky because a lot of people have joined that lately. But it doesn't
Yeah.
matter where that community is, man. Like it is legitimately, it translates. What do you think it is about the reading or blogging community? Is it the fact that it's an art? And that we're all subjective. We have our opinions, this and that, but at the bottom line, there's respect at the
Yeah.
foundation.
Yeah, because you don't find that in anything else. Because like I said, like I do mock drafts, so on the sports side, like you don't find that at all. People are
Cutthroat.
just yeah, cutthroat and negative.
Yeah.
So being on both, being able to like kind of jump in between both of those, like it's nice to be able to come back to the book community knowing that it's not like that. And when it is like that, the people are quick to jump on and go, "Hey, you need to stop that." Like, so it's that's what I adore about it. It's fantastic.
Dude, there's only like, if I was to think of like drama, blah blah blah, that's occurred in this community, I can only think of one instance, and it was like at the very beginning of when I started this, and it wasn't even a big thing. Like, but ever
There's
since then, like over a year and a half later, like I still have that same opinion. So every time I usually ask anybody, man, about it, what's your favorite part? What is it about the community? It's the community, dude.
Well, there
Uh,
is one part of the community that got bad, really bad last year, and it was partially my fault.
okay.
So in a way, but also in the same sense, it wasn't. I didn't do anything. So I I don't know where the original book is, but
Mm.
Bob the Wizard.
Bro, I had him on and had no idea about all that.
Okay, so I found his book on Amazon, and I was like, "Hey, that's a really cool looking book. Like, is there anywhere that I can buy like a signed copy because I want that book?"
Mm.
And so he just sent it to me. Then I found out he was from Austin, Texas, which is, a few hours away. But I was like, "Hey, fellow Texan, heck yeah!"
Right.
And so I was like, "Hey, there's this thing. I don't know if you've heard of it. Where indie authors can put their book in, and get your name out there, and it'll help out
SPFBO?
in the SPFBO." And so he was like, "Oh, I didn't know about that. I'm gonna do that." So it was at my recommendation that he put a book that he didn't know was AI cover, and so it was me that told him to do it. He put it in, and then that's when everything kind of
That
blew up.
sucks,
So
man.
it was partially me, but at the same time, he didn't know that it was AI, and now he's got a cover that's not. So
Yeah.
it in the end it kind of worked out. I felt bad because I kind of blame myself for the fact that I told him that he should put it in there,
Nah,
and
man.
it
You
just
didn't
kind
need
of
to cover.
so
It was funny. I had him on, and wonderful guy, by the way. Very nice guy. I think
oh yeah,
that
I
he's
met
got a
him.
lot to offer, man, and nothing negative about him at all. But he's like, hey, um, he said something along the lines of, "We're not going to talk about, or are we going to talk about the AI?" I had no idea. Like, I was like, no, like, I want to talk to you about your book. And I was, new to, I had no idea, but still, I wouldn't have not had him on. Like, I think he deserves not to be belittled, but at the same,
Yeah,
because like you said, he didn't know. And then as I had learned about what had happened, man, it's like sometimes there's just shitty things that happen to people.
yeah. Like so I went to float the river 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago. Um, so I went to go float the river down in near Austin, which is where he's from. So on my way there, I messaged him. I was like, "Hey, I'm going to be stopping by. Is there any chance like I could like meet up with you somewhere?" And so that's how I got that book, and he signed it for me. Got his picture taken with him and everything. So it was really cool because like at the same time, like I felt bad that he had to go through all that, especially all the negativity
Yeah,
of everyone like putting on him for no reason, and it
yeah,
wasn't his fault. And so it kind of it came away in a better place because people really rallied around him afterwards. Once it all came out that he wasn't the person that did it.
yeah. I think that's important, and I also think at the end of the day, again, going back to community, man, I don't know that there's ever going to be, unless there's, somebody doing something truly ethically wrong, that the community is not going to come around and ultimately lift you up. So you say you're in the mock drafts. Does
Mhm.
that, what is, explain that to me. Is that something that okay, so you watch college football? Because that's what I'm into is
Yeah.
college. I'm not a huge NFL guy. I watch Brady just because he comes from my college. I'm a huge Michigan
Okay,
fan.
Michigan fan. Okay.
Yes, sir. Since the day I was born. I live in Ohio. Isn't that funny?
Oh wow,
Yeah, dude. I live like an hour from Columbus.
wow. And
Yeah,
you're a
bro.
Michigan fan. Woo.
But my mom and dad are from Michigan, deep
Oh, okay. Okay.
Michigander roots.
It's still got to
I
be
grew,
rough being a Michigan fan in Ohio.
You have no idea. Remember when we lost to Appalachian State, bro? That was the worst day of my life, man.
I've got two close friends that are Michigan fans, so yes, I remember.
Last
I
year was
let them remember.
brilliant. I was so happy. Look, if we can go another 20 years of losing to Ohio State because we won the national championship for the first time. I remember Charles Woodson in '93. I do. I remember the rose in the mouth. Barely, though. Like, I was very young. I was 3. I remember growing up seeing it. I don't remember when it happened, but to see that happen, the national championship was very cool, man.
Oh, yeah.
And we've also whooped Ohio State's ass, 4 years in a row now? 3?
Yeah, hey, you get to hold that over Ohio State, who's, going to be playing possibly for a national championship pretty soon.
Dude.
Yeah, because, they're going against my Longhorns, so I don't have faith. I don't have that much faith in them, especially after what they did last week.
I have to say, though, if I like to root for the Big Ten. It's hard to root for Ohio State, but I will sometimes. It's the Big Ten. I love the Big Ten. They've changed their game in the last 15 years, but because it used to be that smash mouth ISO run up the middle type football. Now it's spread. Like, if you come with that bullshit, the spread offense will take you out.
Man, it's because of the wide hashes in college, so they're taking full advantage of that.
Oh man,
because that's what Tennessee did. That's why their offense was so potent just a few years ago, and it's because they were making sure that their wide receivers were as far out as possible, and then the run game could just take off, and because you had no one in the box.
It was like they had to go back to school. It was like, hold on,
football talk time to eat dinner.
Happen in the Big Ten now, not just the SEC. We have to change our game. It was a rough transition, but I think everybody's kind of, at least for now, caught up, and I think there's some pretty fair football happening. Of course.
Oh yeah,
probably. You think so?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. With what's going on, you don't have Georgia. They look kind of like everyone else right now. So it's the money that people are being able to spend. It's kind of evening things out a little bit. So,
I get it. That's awesome, dude.
Except for poor Shane Boyce, who's a Oklahoma fan.
I see him over here. What's up, Shane, dude? He knows I love this shit. What's going on, brother? Boomer. Hey, look, you can be any fan of any college, but stick through those wins and those losses, and I have hella respect for you. Man.
But so the draft, like, I've been doing it for, I would probably say about 15 years.
Wow.
But on my website, I think I only have it up to like 2018. And that's just because I couldn't find all my other stuff because I did it on spirals. And then at one point when I moved, I probably threw it away. So I had a lot of spirals from the past that are no longer here. But so I've tried to keep track with it. And now, now it's, hold on, I'm trying to pull it up here.
Yeah, dude. They're talking shit in the comments. It's cracking me up.
Yeah, they don't like the football talk. But so a couple of years ago, I wanted to get onto the Huddle Report, which so they track mock drafts and grade them and see how people do. And the year before, I had like scored a 57 or 58% hit rate, which is incredible. So I was like, I showed them all my past stuff, and I was like, hey, like, I just want y'all to be able to, like, get me on here so that I can get graded among everyone else. And so instead of just me being on there by myself, they asked me to actually just join their draft team.
Wow.
So now I'm part of their team. So, like, I get to be on there no matter what, but they recruited me to be with them.
What was your percentage?
A few years ago, let me look at it. It was around 58%.
Dude, that's absolutely stellar.
Let me go to my pages here.
If you don't believe me, try to do March Madness, guys, and tell me your win percentage. And then you'll understand what we're saying right here, man. It is hard. It is hard. The games end up the way they end up.
Okay, so 2018. So 2018, I hit was not good year. 29.
I've had those. In fact, most of the years are that.
So I'm gonna say 2021. Okay, not 58%. It was 52%.
That's, dude, over half. Come on.
So I hit a 52%, and I sent it in. I was like, hey, like I would like to, you know, do this, because if I can do this by myself, like I would like to at least be graded on this, and so that I can kind of go up against these people. And they just recruited me to their team instead. So I was like, hey, that works for me. So I've been doing it with them for 3 years now, and over the 3 years, I had a 44%, 40%, and a 43% last year hit rate.
That's
So,
stellar, dude. I know these numbers, and that's good.
like,
What is it that you study?
so the average is about 33%. So the fact that I can hit 40,
Yeah.
just back to back to back to back, it's very good. All right, so I have a few people that I listen to. Dane Brugler is one of them. Daniel Jeremiah, Lance Zierlein. These guys, like, I listen to their podcasts. I read all their articles that they post. So I kind of build my draft boards kind of based on their information, because they, like, at one point, like, this is how bad it was. At one point, I had like 30 different people that I was following. And for the full year, I tracked all their movements, everything that they did, every time they made a new one, what date it was, and what happened. And what I found out was they were basically just following someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever someone else would post something, they would update theirs, and boom. And I'm like, well, there's no real point to follow you, because you're just following them. So I started doing that, and I started tracking everything and realizing, and then I found Huddle Report, where I can actually find people that actually do it well, that get graded on this. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just follow these people. Like, check out this guy. Oh, he's got a new mock. Oh, okay, so this is what he's saying. Let me look up to see what all these people are saying. And then I'm starting to find more things out. And then I started posting mocks and listening to what people would say about the mock. And so I would hear, like, if I gave Philadelphia an inside linebacker in round 1, a Philadelphia fan will go, hey, Philadelphia doesn't do that. They haven't done it since 1979. They'll never do it again. I'm going, gotcha.
Yes,
I'll write that
you.
down. That's information that I need to store. So I started doing that. I started paying attention to how teams drafted, the GM, what did he do? Where was he from? Where did he learn from a different guy? So, okay, so they need this position, but he doesn't draft that. He drafts this. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. So I've learned to piece things together to where I can kind of figure out what certain teams will and won't do.
So what he's saying, guys, is like how X or Facebook has an algorithm. He's created his own, legitimately.
In a way, yeah.
Like, you've chose the people that you trust, and done a lot of extensive research, like based on past history, which is, I think, probably some of the most valuable.
Oh, yeah.
Trends tell you what people do, like, a lot of the time.
And I'm telling you, like, one of the biggest things, though, was listening to fans. Whenever they would say something about their team, our team would not draft this. I'm like, okay, well, why wouldn't they draft that person?
Right.
And then they would tell me, I'm going, oh, well, let me look that up. And I'm like, hey, you know what? You're right. They have a tendency of not doing that. So, okay. So I learned Philadelphia, they won't take a running back. They haven't taken one since 1986 in round 1. They've never drafted a safety in round 1. And they don't draft inside linebackers in round 1. So I was like, those are 3 positions now I know I will never have to put on that team.
Man, I tell you, a lot of people here, pretty soon you're going to have people saying, hey, look, I need your notes, and I'm going to pay you for them. Dude.
I took a picture of the notes that I took for the last P.L. Stewart arc that I read that's going to be coming out pretty soon, and I sent it to him. Or actually, I filmed a video of all the notes that I took per chapter, and like the video I think was like 3 minutes long of just all the notes that I took. Like,
that shows dedication, and man, and I feel like if you do, when I do that, right, and I haven't done it to many books yet, and that's probably the lack of time that I have given myself, which is improving. I'm allowing more time. that's dedication, dude. And like you said, it comes across as it's learned knowledge. It's past kind of trends. When it comes to books, like as far as fiction, though, uh, unless it's a super complex story or there's hell of point of views, what have you, I usually won't. But when I do, I usually have a better experience.
Oh
I
yeah.
had to I had to throw up Jeff, man. Jeff is a gangster. He's been like
Oh yeah.
-2 subscribers. Jeff was on the support, man, supporting dude. Yes, dude. Yes.
Put that third one right beside.
I had no idea what this was when I first got it. I was like, hold on. As soon as I read it, I was like, I know what that is. I thought it was a dice at first.
I also have that somewhere. I think it's in my little thing down here.
I can't believe my kids have taken this thing out of the bag 476 times. I cannot
little-
believe it's still in my hands, Jeff. But I do. I got it, dog. So I haven't gotten to the third book yet. Very soon, me and Jeff's gonna talk. Dude, me and Jeff has been trying to talk like schedules back and forth. I can't wait to talk to Jeff. I see him.
I'll
Me and
definitely
Jeff
be
should have a
watching that.
wonderful conversation. He said, "Yikes, keep that away." Yeah, my oldest kid, he's the only one. He's 5 now, and any chance he gets, he's like, "I'm gonna swipe that soft bag, and I'm gonna make Dad wonder where it is for a couple minutes." Yeah, so that's fun. So what are you reading right now, man?
I'm reading God Ascended, so
Hell yeah,
I'm
dude.
70% through with it. More than likely, I'll be done. I would probably say on Tuesday or Wednesday. But from there, that'll be something else. I haven't figured that out. I have every year I always build a TBR of things that I want to get to, like not expecting to get to any of it, but I've at least built it to where I know I've got these. I own maybe the physical book, or I own the ebook and the audiobook, or just the ebook. I need to get the audio, or I have the audio. I need to get the ebook because I do a lot of whisper sync reading.
Yeah.
Because like for work, like I'm in my truck. I would probably say about 60% of the day, because driving into Dallas and then driving home, like it's about together it's about 2.5 hours worth of driving, and then that's in between driving to different jobs that I got to do during the day. So like I drive a lot.
I've grown up in the country all my life, and I live at the beginning of the Appalachian Mountains. Which kind of truck do you drive?
My work truck is just a 2017 Colorado, or no, 2021 Colorado.
Hell yeah, Chevy. We drive a Chevy. I mean, it's a
then
GMC, but
Then my personal truck is a 2017 Silverado.
no,
That
my
I
man.
barely drive it, so it's still under 30,000 miles.
Ah, dude, absolutely love that. I've had Fords, man. I had a Ford truck, broke. I gave Ford quite a few chances, man, and they let me down, unfortunately. No hate to any Ford lovers. Love your Ford. But I love the Chevys, man.
I'm strictly Chevy.
Yes,
I
sir.
had an 85 for most of my life,
Ooh,
and then graduated to a '07, and then I had a 16 kid hit me, totaled my brand new truck. It didn't even have 1,000 miles on it yet,
oh,
and now I have a 17, which it's the exact same truck that I had as a 16, just a 17.
man. I when I had graduated high school, it was a 98 1500 stick shift. Man, I was so excited. Like I changed the transmission, and I I don't really know. I think it was something with the engine. I really don't know. It just blew up the minute that I started to drive it. I put so much work into it, but
Man,
I wish I could have had that for a while, man. That would have been fun.
well, I will tell you this. One thing that we learned, because I was always obviously like I like red. My truck is red. My old truck, I wanted to get a dark red, and at the time I was thinking like black cherry, because I was like dark red, almost maroonish. And so my parents went to go get my truck painted, my 85, and it came back black cherry. It was actually brown with red flakes.
Oh shit!
So I called it a chocolate covered cherry.
Nice.
I was like, I guess this is what happens when we don't actually check out what the color really is.
Yeah, when we decide not to be as as specific as we should have been.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a good story though. I think it's worth the story. So what
It's
I'm reading right now, man, is Dark Bloom. I'm finishing
Flower the
this.
Cobb. Okay.
Yeah, dude. I love a few things already. I'll tell you. I'm not super far into. I'm like close to 40%, something like this. She has a way of talking about relationships in a very realistic way. Like like I don't relate as far as me being in that kind of relationship, but like very close to me. Like it happens all the time, and being able to relate with a character through a relationship, man, I feel is very, very uh, influential, as well as keeping suspense in a zombie kind of dystopian thriller, which
Okay.
honestly isn't on my radar very often,
Yeah.
but needs to
I
be
saw
more
someone
so.
today actually call it a rom-zom.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. But at the same time, like that would have initially turned me off because anything romantic,
Yeah.
but it's not that. It's not it's the relationships that I can understand or at least see my if I've been in the situation, see myself in, or if I haven't, there's people I know that have been in that situation. So either way, it's relatable. So being relatable in a book, as well as keeping my suspense in those moments where it's supposed to be high, like she's doing that, and I love
Okay.
that, man.
Heck
And
yeah.
I thought something was so cool. My guy Chris over at Bearded Book Beast. I think Molly, you were number 8 on his top 10 for 2024. That's awesome, dude. Like that is excellent. I'm so happy.
Heck
The other
yeah.
one The other one I'm reading, I was shocked to have gotten the arc, but I did, man, and it's so good, dude. I'm not done with it yet, but it's so good. It's
Oh, I
fucking
want to read
gangster,
that.
dude. It's so
Yeah.
good, man. Like I've read his stuff before, and it's great. Like, what is it? Kings of. Uh, anyway,
Of Tyrant. Yeah. Uh,
uh, but he has evolved. I see this evolution, and I've seen it in Jeff's writing too. Like when you read across multiple books, you see an evolution in someone's writing, and it's so cool.
yes. Yeah. That is one of the few cool things that you can do, especially when you're like on that journey with them, like with Ryan. Like that was one of the really cool things was to see like his progression as an author from that first book as you're reading what he's putting out, and you're just like, man, like you are getting like you're getting up there
Yeah,
now. Like
dude.
you were already up there, but you're getting up there, man. Like especially with what he likes to do with just throwing in those little bitty things here and there, like it's really cool. Like
That's got to
so
be so cool.
I totally get what you're saying with that.
And to go from Of Blood and Fire to um
Of Darkness and Light.
yeah, to that, and then into Of War and Ruin. It's like I haven't read Of War and Ruin yet, but from what I
Oh
understand, it just the expansion, but the comprehension of such that you are on your toes about is incredible.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's so cool,
And
dude.
then and even some of his novellas, like they're
The Fall
like
was so good.
it was. I can't get enough of his books. Like I get excited when I know that the next one's going to come out because I'm all like, oh, I'll just yeah, all right. Well, I was going to read this, but never mind.
Of Empires and Dust is going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's supposed to be out in March, at the end of March. He just did another newsletter the other day talking about it, where he might get it earlier than that, might get it out earlier than that, but more than likely it'll probably still be in there in that area. And but yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it, so like I don't blame him for with the tour that he had and now pushing it back. Like, hey,
Did you
I'd
get to
rather him
go
push it
fucking
back than
see him when
anything.
he came down to Texas?
Yeah, yeah.
Of course you did. In Rockio, dude.
Yep,
Yeah,
I
man.
hung out with him, Rockio, and Mike.
Like,
So we all went to a barbecue place in Texas. So I got to watch Ryan have Texas barbecue for the first time, which
That's
was
amazing.
tremendous. Like that was
Oh,
funny
man.
watching him because he got an entire like sampler plate of everything. So he was like, I have to try everything. Like I couldn't just order one thing.
Look, I've never been to Texas, but I very much want to be there, like right now, because not only the food, the people are wonderful. Oh
Yeah.
man, I love it. I cannot wait for from what I understand, at least from what Mike has said, they plan to do the same thing next year.
Oh, okay.
Me and my wife are going.
Awesome. Heck yeah. Well, if they're going to do it again next year, then I'm definitely going to be there again.
Oh, I'm so pumped, dude. We got to eat some barbecue. I need some brisket. Look, Ohio brisket is dry, dude. What the hell are they doing? I don't even get how like you can cook a brisket dry, dude. Like, there's no possible
Oh
way.
no. Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
that's no good.
No.
Oh man.
I'm a
Yeah.
brisket fan. There is a wonderful restaurant. They call I forget the name. Down the road we go to. It's a little far away, but man, it's worth it. They do it right. But when they do it wrong, I just can't understand.
Hey.
A brisket is fatty, dude. Like, how do
Yeah.
you dry that thing out?
You cook it too
Anyway,
long. Yeah,
man, you
I
gotta
actually made my first brisket in October. So
How'd you do it?
that was my first one that I had ever smoked. Because I usually, like in my family, it's usually the older person, they do it, and so the other people they don't. And but I finally like got my own smoker, so I was like, I'm going to do this myself. Like I want to be able to do it.
Hell
And so
yeah.
I just watched a few videos. I was like, oh okay, I got this. And like very first one, took it to a Halloween party. They were like, dude, this is the best brisket I've ever had. I'm like,
All right. What better compliment, man?
I was like, this is my first try. You're telling me that? I was like, all right.
That's
I'm good.
amazing, dude. Hell yeah. Congratulations on hey, pork belly too. Oh, I love pork belly.
Oh
So
yeah.
good.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna get along with the people in Texas, nonetheless.
We like to eat the good stuff.
Yes, sir. Oh man, that's excellent. So I haven't asked this question in a while, man, but I want to ask you. I've had Ryan on, so I'll just tell you that. Ryan's a great dude, and I had a wonderful time during our interview. I know he's busy as shit right now too.
Oh yeah.
Who's somebody you think I should have on the channel? Somebody that you look up to? And it could be anybody that I've already had on. It doesn't matter. But I just wanted to let you know I've had Ryan on.
Okay. Man. Well. Well, I know you had Ryan on because I was in the comments on that one. I watched that. I watched you with PL. Like.
Yeah.
That, like I said, like when they do something, like I try to pay attention to what they do, because like also like when I hear them doing interviews, I'll take notes on what they're saying. Like
That's
towards
amazing,
the book.
dude.
So I'm like, oh, okay, so all right, need to pay attention to this. I'm like, okay, so
Yeah.
And then you say you're trying to have Jeff on.
Jeff, dude. Yeah, me and him have not connected as far as just a one-on-one. I've done a couple things with me. He was doing some D&D things live. But yeah, me and him need to do this one. As soon as I'm done with book 3, he'll have like when I interview him, or he comes on, or he'll probably interview me. I need to interview him. Jeff can be like, hold on, I'm gonna switch this whole thing around. No, I'll be very versed in his work because essentially from the beginning of this channel, dude, he's been a part of it. So it's very cool.
Heck yeah. And see, I watched you do Bengali. Let's see, because like I watched you do Bengali, and then I interviewed Bengali I think about a month later, because I took some of the notes from what you did so that I could kind of get an idea of what I need to say on interviewing people. So awesome. I took notes from that.
That's
like
so
I'm big on like just paying attention to the little things that people are doing, because I need to pick up on it and make things better doing it that way.
That's awesome.
So man, let me see, because
I think
those are 4 people that I would probably say.
No. That it's a very hard question, and we've already kind of come to the answer. Jeff, man, I think I need to get the book read and have Jeff on. Dude.
Yeah, I would definitely say Jeff. Of the people that I can think of that you haven't had on, that I would definitely say Jeff.
I think he has so much to offer, and I've known this for a long time now. And it's funny, I don't usually like know something like this about an author and it just not happened yet. But I'm more excited because it hasn't. I'll have had his whole trilogy read. The conversation we're gonna have is gonna be deep, man. I don't often have that opportunity with many authors because I'm kind of still a new reader.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
I feel that. I totally feel that.
but nonetheless, man, Jeff's one of those very few guys that has been there from the exact like very, very beginning. So very excited about it, man. I guess
Another one I just thought about is AJ Retker.
ooh, never heard of him. Excuse me.
Okay. So he's got a book. It's called Season of Kings. It was in the SPFBO, I think, 2 years ago. But it's a grim, darkish type of dark fantasy book. I'm also in fantasy football league with him, and we're playing in the championship this week, or
I'm
the
gonna get
second
his
week of the
information.
championship.
That's the funnest thing, dude, is finding out because I know there's so many and actually getting a name to, research and find out more about is actually really so fun. So much fun. What I mean is I can look at this sea of authors and choose, right? I like to hear other people's experience and friendships and kind of go off of that. So, man, I'm excited. So I appreciate you
Yeah,
saying his name because
yeah.
I want to get his info from you. Um, lastly, man, I know we've been here. It doesn't ever seem like it. An hour and 7 minutes.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Crazy, dude. It just goes by so freaking quick. But I just want to thank you, man, because it was kind of short on giving you the time and this and that, and you were able to do it, and I
Oh
really
yeah,
really appreciate it, man. And I can't wait to have you back on, brother.
absolutely. Yeah, and I need to kind of get back on my game as well on my channel because it's been kind of empty for a while. So I need to
Hey,
jump back on that.
hey, and I think those type of things for me, especially, this is the first live, and I did lives like 4 times a week, dude.
Oh wow.
This is the first time that I've been live in like a little under a month, but almost a month. So I just the people who enjoy watching will understand if I need to take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And I feel the exact same for you, man. You probably, and I know you do, have the most wonderful fans. So being honest like you are and have this whole time is excellent. And I just really, really appreciate you coming on, man.
I mean, I appreciate you having me.
100%. Everybody that was in the live, I do appreciate you so much. It's so good to, first, let me say this. I see so many, you guys have been chatting like crazy, dude. That is
They
the
have.
absolute coolest thing ever. So I just want to thank you all for being and just coming back with me, man, because I was a little worried. Like, I haven't been on for a little, about a month, and I wonder what this is going to be like. And you guys have proven me wrong and my internal monologue wrong. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you all being here. Michael, thank you so much. I love what you're doing, brother. Can't wait to see what's next and have you back on. Everybody that was in the live, thank you so much. And everyone that will watch the replay, thank you as well. And let's see. The next one that I have scheduled, not saying that that's the next one that we'll do, because I could plan some in the meantime, is having the big badass illustrator, Jeff Brown, on the 10th.
Oh,
We're going to be talking on the 10th. Dude, he's doing crazy shit, man.
crazy,
He's an
crazy.
he's like an anomaly, dude. What's going on?
Yeah, he's got some incredibly beautiful artwork. Like every time he drops something, you're just like going, "Oh,
Malazan,
oh."
come on, dude. Like, it seems like legitimately every broken binding that comes out has his art, and it's just freaking awesome, dude.
I'm assuming that they're paired together now,
I mean, yeah, it seems to be that.
or a partnership.
Again, I don't know 100%, but Petrick kind of does the direction because
Uh-huh.
I get it, man. He knows
Yeah.
his stuff.
that
then
man knows his stuff.
Yeah, Jeff kind of hangs out with the author for a minute, whether it's virtually or in person, and does his thing, and he always does it so good.
Heck
So,
yeah, like he's got some beautiful work.
not saying that's going to be the next one. There could be before, but the next scheduled is Jeff Brown. So We will see you guys soon. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for making this special. Michael, thank you. Have a wonderful night, brother.
Thank you,
We'll see
man.
you guys next time.
All right. See ya.